All right, and welcome back to another episode of Shooting the Shit Uncensored. I am your host, as always, the handsome bearded man himself, Piers Austin, and tonight I'm joined by another bearded man, but, you guys have to tell who the better looking one is. I'm always going to say myself because, well, I look at myself in the mirror every day and say that. But, guys, before we get started with my interview with Will Keidis, our Australian professional wrestler who wrestles for the PWA, the IWA, I just wanted to take this moment and thank a few sponsors. First up on the sponsors list for this evening is Mayan Belts. Now, every wrestling fan out there either owns a championship belt or wants to own a championship belt. If you want to get a custom championship belt made or a replica of your favorite championship belt made, head over to Mayan Belts. Contact Eddie and Ira Williams as they're seen on Facebook, and they will hook you up. They make some amazing belts, guys. Seriously, they have special payment plans in place as well, where you can pay as little as $20 to $30 per paycheck until that bad belt motherfucking thing is paid off. And it is incredible, guys. You won't be disappointed. I've got a belt on order with Mayan Belts, and I'm super excited to get that in. Next is A-Rock Design. So A-Rock Designs is a company run in Georgia by my good friend, Ashley Rodriguez. Now, Ashley makes custom cups, tumblers, hoodies, keychains, you name it, they make it, and they do amazing work. I just got sent this custom CM Punk tumbler, and it is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it. The detail in it was exactly what I wanted. I actually didn't even say how I wanted. I just said, yeah, make me a CM Punk one and just do your artistic flair. And she made something sensational. Guys, my last but not least sponsor is Signal Studios. If you're a professional wrestler, you need some new entrance music, or you just need some new music, that you're a musician, you want to write some lyrics and you need a track, hit up my boy Rafi Tomasi and he will hook you up. He'll be able to make you a beat, make you a song, master it and ship it out to you digitally or in the post, whatever you prefer. Or if you're in Sydney and you're a musician and you want a place to jam out to some music, you can head down to Signal Studios in West Ryde, Sydney, Australia. And these guys have got a beautiful rehearsal space for you as well there. So guys, as well, I just wanted to take a quick moment as well, just to let you guys know about our Pro Wrestling Tee store. So the banner's going to be running at the below there, and you guys can head over to prowrestlingtees.com/MWA World and pick up one of our T-shirts. We have a special competition going at the moment. If you buy a T-shirt, you go into the draw to win a $50 Amazon gift card from your country. Plus, you get to win a bonus MWA T-shirt from our store. Check out some of the shirts we have. We have our Shooting the Shit Uncensored shirt from this show here. We also have our 2020 wrestling shirt, which is the one I'm wearing, where we have our wrestling game show, which is every Wednesday night at 10:30 p.m. Australian time, 8:30 a.m. USA Eastern. And, make sure to support Brood on that one as well, guys. But if you wanted something a little bit more sleek and elegant, you can get our MWA black and silver logo shirt. That thing is selling like hotcakes, guys. And also, this is a little bit of our funny shirt, which is our anime shirt, which has all of the faces of MWA on it. You can get that. You can walk around with my face on your left titty. It's pretty crazy, right? But guys, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest for this evening. As I said, he wrestles for the PWA, IWA, both Sydney promotions. His name is Will Keidis. Will, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hello, how's it going? I'm good.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. We're just getting started here, and thank you for sitting there while I did a big sponsorship plug for our wonderful sponsors. But how's your day been, man?
Yeah, not too bad. Same old, same old. I'll answer the question that you had before about whose beard's the best. I'll say it's mine, just throwing that out there right now. So we don't need to discuss that anymore.
Mate, you know what? You're my guest, and you know what? I've got two kids I run after, man, so it's hard to maintain a beautiful beard. So you definitely get the points for that. But we may leave it up to the audience. But guys, if you do want to ask Will some questions, the comments are open. Please feel free to ask your question. If you'd like your name to be displayed, click the link above at streamyard.com/Facebook. To grant StreamYard permission so we can see your name and photo and bring it up there. But, we've got a couple of comments coming in already. Daniel Bowman, who's a big Aussie wrestling fan. Battle of the Beards. Also Kyle, who never misses an episode. Hey, Will Keidis. George Southgate also. He's in there. But, Will, what's been happening, man? Like, it's been a crazy time in the world, dude, with COVID and all the lockdowns, and wrestling shows really been put on hold. How has it been for you, man? Like mentally, have you been able to keep in shape while you've been off? What have you been doing to keep busy?
Yeah, it's been tough. Like the first few months, there was no gyms, there was no anything, so that was a bit of a struggle. So I didn't really have any home gym set up like some of the others. So yeah, it wasn't too good. Gyms opened up about a month or two ago, so like it's gotten a bit better. But yeah, those first few months were a bit of a struggle, but we pushed through. It was just a lot of Netflix and just watching TV. I guess there wasn't much to do, but now we're able to get out a bit more and do some things. We're able to train, which takes up most of my week anyway. I'm at PWA training, so it's good to be back there.
Dropping those quarantine extra kilos, mate. It's it's been hard, man. I tell you, and that's the thing. It's good. Like PWA just had a show on this past Saturday, which you were a part of, and it was pretty much the first show back. At the PWA Academy. You were originally scheduled for a four-way match, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, but that changed on the night, and you end up having a single match, correct?
Yeah, it changed slightly. There were a few injuries a few days before the show, but that stuff happened. So it was meant to be myself, Kingsley, Steph DeLanda, and Reece Angel, but it turned out to be myself, Kingsley, AJ, and Reece Angel. But yeah, it was a fun match. Didn't get the win, but
those things happen.
I'll blame that on 5 months off from wrestling. So I'm just getting back into the swing of things. I'll start winning when I get a few more matches under my belt. So
absolutely, man. Get that ring rust off. But getting into pro wrestling, man. How long? When did you start wrestling?
When I start wrestling, 2015 is when I started training. So about 5 years ago, at APWG. So that's a training facility in Penrith under J-Law. Really good place. Very, very good place to start training and learn the basics and stuff. Couldn't recommend it enough. But started out there, then eventually a couple years after that moved on to PWA, where I am now.
Yeah, right. And were you always a fan of wrestling growing up?
Yeah, big fan. Since I could remember, from the time I was 5 or 6, just because my dad was a fan as well, so he'd always have it on. So then it was just got passed down to me, that kind of thing, and then just one of those things where everyone at school sort of grew out of it, but then I didn't. So it was just kept watching through high school and that, and then after high school, it's guess I'll be a wrestler now, I guess. So.
And who were some of the guys that you?
Here I am.
That's it, man. And who were some of the guys that really captivated you at a young age that really caught your attention early on?
Probably The Rock. The Rock was my guy. Still is my guy. I'd say Rock, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho. They're probably my top 3 guys that I could just watch any of their matches, always be captivated. And then they're even guys, some of them, I like to say as influencers for my style as well, that kind of thing. But just as watching as a fan, those 3 I think would be my top 3, just based off their work, just based off charisma, personality, all that kind of stuff. Those are three
pretty good names to look up to, man, in the world of pro wrestling. But what were your family's thoughts when you went to them and said, "Hey, I want to give this pro wrestling thing a try. I want to throw my foot in and see how I go." You said your dad was a fan. Was he supportive of you getting into it?
Yeah, it was. Pretty supportive. I'd say my mom didn't really realize what I was doing until 6 months in. She didn't quite get the concept of training to be a pro wrestler. She thought I was doing Olympic style wrestling. And even though I'm "Oh yeah, Mom, I got wrestling training tonight, Thursday night, blah blah blah," she's "Yeah, no worries." And then once I made my debut, it kind of clicked for her. She's you mean like the WWE wrestling? I'm like, yeah, that's what I meant. Like, she couldn't comprehend it, but she was fine with it. She just didn't understand. I'm like, Mum, like, I'm not a Olympic shooter. That's not what's happening at all. But yeah,
She thought you were going to be the next Kurt Angle.
yeah, I don't have the Olympic chops for that, but pro wrestling, that's where I'm at. But yeah, they were supportive. They came to my first match and stuff, and yeah, there's no issues there. Just like any mother, anytime she sees clips of me wrestling or matches, she's like, she winces like if I'm getting hurt or stuff, and I'm like, yeah, like it's fine.
That's what mums are doing, man. That's what mums do, bro.
Exactly, like it's just that, but yeah. But overall, like yeah, they're very supportive.
Yeah, and with pro wrestling, like you did your training. You started in 2015. When did you actually get into the ring and have your first match? And can you tell us a little bit about that match?
Yeah, so it was so early 2015 I started training, and then towards the end of 2015 is when I had my first match. It was like in a training academy show that we had at APWG. Quick sort of match, just sort of an introductory kind of match. Get some shit in, and then yeah, that's it. But it was fun. Like yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was a very interesting experience, but I knew like right after, it wasn't one of those things where I was like, oh, I tried it and that's it. Like I knew after I had my first match, like I had to keep going, I had to push harder to get more and stuff. So like, yeah, like we'd run VIP shows is what they were called, just in front of like friends and family in our little training facility in Penrith, and they were a lot of fun. And that was when I had my first few matches before progressing on some more shows within the next year or so. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun doing those shows.
How did you find going out to sort of new shows and sort of starting, other promotions and started to getting booked, like going to the PWAs, the IWAs, etc. Like, were you going around to a lot of the local promotions when they had shows, putting your name up and saying, "Hey, I'm here, I've been trained"?
Yeah, pretty much that. So like, I know with some other companies, like back then, it doesn't really happen now, but a lot of the times back then, it was like if you trained with a place, you could only wrestle there. But my trainer, Jay Law, like didn't have that mentality. He was like, you need to wrestle as much as you can, go to a lot of many different places as you can. So he sort of encouraged that. So yeah, after a certain amount of time, after about a year training, myself, Brad Alexander, who's my tag partner, because we started at the same time, as soon as we got to a certain level, we'd go help out at Newey Pro shows or IWA shows or shows like that, just within the local area, just doing ring crew and then bringing your gear. And that's pretty much how I got booked, like on any show, really, like any type of new company. You just, bring your
Just
gear.
try and get your name out there, bring your gear, help out.
Yeah, it was all about, getting your foot in the door, introducing yourself to the promoter, being courteous and that sort of thing. And that, that definitely goes a long way, because that's like any promotion that I've worked for in Sydney, and that like that's how I got bookings. So yeah, I'd recommend that actually for any up and comer, any trainee starting out, because it definitely works.
And do you find, I should say, did you find when you were going around to these promoters and going up to them saying, "Hey, my name's Will, I'm a trained wrestler, I'd like to get on there," were these guys like standoffish to you, or are they all like welcoming, going, "Okay, cool, man, like grab a ring post and set it up"? And
I don't know. Well, I wouldn't call it standoffish. It was just like that. Yeah, everyone I came into contact with was pretty cool, and that was fairly courteous. I knew what I had to do. I knew I had to pay my dues. I knew I wasn't just going to show up and get booked, so I wasn't expecting a lot right away. So it took like 5-6 months or so before I got matches. But that's what I expected. So I wasn't expecting a lot right away. And with the people that I dealt with, it was fine. I didn't have any issues with any of the promoters or any of the higher ups, whoever I encountered. So I was all good stuff.
I mean, they're probably used to it by now, like seeing guys being trained coming up, and they sort of keep an eye on the guys that are really committed to it, you know, and waiting 5-6 months, a lot of people would be like, people this day and age aren't patient. They want things happening straight away. You know what I mean? So waiting 5-6 months to really get an opportunity shows like these promoters who is really dedicated to this. You know,
absolutely, and like that's what I found as well. Like you see people come and go, and that's not like a bad thing. It's just they come to a show or whatever, and they realize maybe wrestling's not for them, and that's not a big deal. That's fine. But that's why the promoters, they see dozens of rookies come in all the time. And I don't expect them like to know their names or know who they are right away. But like if you go to more shows, they're going to get more familiar with you. And then they're going to notice like, oh, he has a passion for this, or he or she really wants this, that kind of thing. So like just go to one show and stuff and expecting them to like be your best friend and know who you are, like it's not realistic, and I understood that. So it was all fun, and I had any issues with that.
But obviously, going in and wrestling with some of these promotions, where's been one of the most funnest places for you to work that you found? Which is the main promotion that you go that like is always a good time? It's always a lot of fun.
Probably IWA is a lot of fun to have there. It's just a great bunch of people. Can't put it over enough. Like also because they're the first promotion that kind of gave me a shot as well. Like one of the first feds that I went to, like doing Rinku and helping out and stuff. And they were one of the first ones to put me on and stuff. So I was very grateful for that. But as far as like the people there, everyone I get along with 100%. The shows are always really, really good. And got a certain aspect to it with the IWA tours. So there'll be like a 2-day, a 3-day, or a 4-day tour where you can go to like a country town, northern New South Wales, southern New South Wales, or wherever, and just wrestle for like the whole week basically. And it's something that no other promotion in Australia can offer, which is really cool. And you get a lot of like fun times there, but also you learn to work different styles and you learn to work different crowds, which is really interesting. Because in Sydney, people know who you are. Like eventually they'll get to a point where they know who you are, they know your shtick and stuff. But you're going on a 4-day tour, different towns each night, and like no one knows who any of the wrestlers are. So it's like you got to be on your game every single night, otherwise it's
gonna get shit on.
It's gonna get shit. Yeah, exactly. So, but tours and just IWA in general, I have a lot of fun at. I have a lot of time for IWA. So
man, I've been going. I was going to IWA shows in like 2000, 2001. They've really been a staple of Aussie pro wrestling, man. Like I can remember, and I was actually saying this to Kingsley last week when she was on. Is I can remember Madison being the enforcer for AJ Freely back in the early days, man. When I was going to shows, and Mark Mercedes, he knows how to run a good product. I've had a friend of mine who wrestled back then for him, and it was always the shows were always fun for the workers, for the crowd. Everyone just seemed into it, and I'm really happy to hear that it's still continue to progress like that, years down the track.
Yeah.
But also, working for IWA, leading into PWA as well, where you do predominantly a lot of your work with now. You also train with the PWA guys, as you mentioned. PWA, man, they are doing a lot of things right in Aussie wrestling, man. Like they are a step above, a lot of promotions, not just in Australia, but also, around the world. From everything that I've heard from a lot of the guys that work for them. What's your experience been like with PWA? You've got a great coaching staff down there. Has that been really able to help elevate your career as well?
Absolutely, yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, I started around 3 years ago at PWA, and the training there has just been phenomenal with Robbie, with Madison, with Mick, everyone there. It's just been top class. Like I couldn't recommend it enough, but it's also helped me grow much bigger as a wrestler. Like just as getting better as a wrestler, getting better as a performer, getting better in all the little aspects of wrestling. PWA have definitely helped there, and like I said before, I didn't go to PWA and then get put on straight away. Like that took time as well, and to be able to put the time in with training, with helping out at shows, and then now to start to get more spots at PWA is pretty rewarding as well. Because I look at it as probably the top promotion in the company in the country. So to be able to have like a featured spot there is pretty cool. And just the stuff we're doing now, we're killing it, in my opinion. Like that might sound
No.
We're doing a lot. I think we're doing a lot of good stuff. I think we have a lot of depth in our roster as well, which is really cool. Like top to bottom, like everyone I feel can go like on that roster, and there's even guys or girls that you don't even see who aren't at that level yet that are already really good. So I think the future, for PWA and Australian wrestling in general is in good hands and going to be really good based off the training of people like Robbie and Madison and Mick Murray.
And that's the thing, like, we look at Australian wrestling where it's at now, and obviously pre-COVID, Australian wrestling over the last, say, 5 to 7 years has really, really, I'd say 5 to 10 actually. We've started to see more and more Australian wrestlers on the bigger name products on WWE, New Japan, and these other, and even Ring of Honor, I should say. We're starting to see more Australians get to that top level, and I think that Australia always had the talent, but I feel like where it was, 15, 20 years ago, there wasn't much driving force behind it there. And I think there's definitely been a lot of guys, but, the last lot of Australian shows that I have been able to see last year, I was just blown away by some of the talent that I was able to see, man. And I can see Australian wrestling is, like, pre-COVID, is very, very healthy, and it's it's going to definitely thrive and get to that next level and next stages. But you mentioned as well Newey Pro Wrestling. What's your experience like working at Newey Pro, man? Because I hear great things.
Yeah, that's another one I love working for, like Newey Pro and the Hoos as well. The Hoos is like their training shows as well, but it's more than just a training show. I guess it's in the training facility, but it's a lot of good vibes there, a lot of crazy atmosphere. Like one of my favorite places to work. But Newey Pro has been great. Like I been with them the last couple of years, and can't have enough good things to say about there. Like they're always having good shows. Like there's a lot, you get 300, 400 people at the Charlestown Bowling Club every show. Whenever there's a Who shows are packed. And same with the PWA roster, because PWA and Newey rosters are fairly similar, but top to bottom, everyone's good. Everyone's on their A game, and it's just unbelievable shows. For Newey specifically, I like it because I'm getting to do the North Shore Wrestling stuff with Lucci, Sam Osborne, and Jackson Kelly, and that's just a lot of fun to do, and to be able to sink my teeth into a storyline and an angle there. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, the North Shore Wrestling, I've had both Sam and Jackson on, and hearing a little bit of stories about North Shore Wrestling and how you guys, how did you guys? I didn't actually ask this, but how did you guys form together? Like, have you guys been mates for a long period of time, or is it just something that all sort of came together for you guys?
Yeah, so this is interesting. So it's Jackson Kelly and I had the Kelly gang in IWA with Brad Alexander, and that's where that started. And we've been doing that. We're still doing that as well, in IWA. And then we moved on and did that stuff in Newey Pro for a bit. And then, Jackson Kelly went to the US for a bit last year, and so there wasn't much for me to do, but they wanted Sam Osborne in, and they had the idea to sort of put the three of us together, but they had the whole story of Kelly coming back from the US, and him and Osborne were at odds for a bit, but then we finally came together this past January and as a trio, and then now Lucci's joined us in February, and we're all just we all got along backstage as well. We're all they're three of my closest friends in wrestling, and it was just something that we thought would be a cool idea, to represent where we're all from, around the North Shore area, like the North Shore, Northern Beaches area of Sydney. It's something as well, especially in Newcastle, works really well because there's like a sort of Northern Beaches, North Shore rivalry with Newcastle, back to like the footy with Manly and the Knights and stuff. So that connects really well with that audience. And because we've
Getting
been
that heel heat.
Sorry, yeah.
Getting that heel heat in Newcastle, I can just imagine coming with Manly jerseys.
Like anytime you put a microphone in Jackson Kelly's hand in the Charlestown Bowling Club, I don't like it. The place goes unglued. It's really cool actually. And we started that with the Kelly game, and now it's North Shore Wrestling and Newey Pro with the four of us. And we had a lot of cool stuff coming up. We're going to do some cool things pre-COVID. We'll see how it goes when Newey Pro starts back up again because, can't wait for those shows. We'll have to wait.
Man, I was telling Sam, I actually went to a Newey Pro show once. I got dragged along to it with a few friends. And, man, I tell you what, like I'm from the Sutherland Shire, so it was a bit of a hike for me. And I went down there and I'd been like at a barbecue all day, so I'd had a few beers and was sitting in the back of the car. I went to this show. And I just couldn't believe the atmosphere I was seeing at an Australian wrestling show, to be honest. Like it, and and everything I've heard about other shows, it's like that's how it is all the time. It's that very much that ECW arena feel, that real passionate crowd, and having that that regular show at the same event. It's almost like a football team having the home field advantage when they're playing a game, if that makes sense. It's like having that real sense of loyalty where the fans are really invested in the product, they're invested in the performers, and they're invested in what they're seeing. And that's the hardest thing, I think, for a lot of just say independent wrestling in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the advantage Newey Pro has. They run the Charlestown Bowling Club every month, 12 dates a year. They're pretty much the same crowd come back every month. So they're all familiar with the storylines and everything going on. And so that's the advantage that they have that maybe some other promotions might not. Like, say an IWA, like IWA tours around, so it might be harder for fans to sort of keep up. Like, you're not going to do storylines for an IWA show in, like, Wagga Wagga or something because they're not going to follow what happened in Sydney, which is just a different type of product, which I love both of them. But with Newey Pro, you have, the set audience, the set venues each month, and like I said, you were able to start to really sink our teeth into actual storylines, actual angles, which is what I'm all about. And I really like to be able to do that, and that's Newey Pro's been able to give me the chance to do that, which I'm very grateful for.
Absolutely, man. So we got a comment here from Adam Pokrajag. I'm sorry, man. I just murdered your name, bro. For sure, Newey hits hard, especially how much they love the show for the wrestlers born and bred in Newcastle. We've got a few more questions coming in, so we'll just ask them. So Kyle Eade, he wants to know: have you ever wrestled overseas before? Which is one of the things I was going to ask you. So thank you.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't yet, but definitely on the list, or it was on the bucket list. We'll see how that goes for the foreseeable future. That was something, I was hoping to do, like within the next year, 18 months, like try and get overseas and train and maybe get a booking there, but that doesn't seem likely anytime soon. So I'm just going to go with the flow and see how that goes.
Did you have any promotions overseas that you really wanted to go and try and dip your toe in over there?
Not particularly. I wanted to see the US and stuff because I feel like that's more my style. That's more what I'd want to do if I was to go overseas. But yes, anywhere in the US, in the Northeast or in the California region, that seems like where a lot of shit's happening at the moment. Even Mexico, Mexico is a real big bucket list one for me. I don't know why. I really resonate with that kind of style for some reason, even though it's not a huge scene at the moment, but I love that lucha libre kind of culture and style. So that's if the opportunity presents itself in the future, I'd love to go there as well in the future.
What about over to Japan, where maybe Robbie can sort of get you get you a bit of a trial over there?
In Japan, yeah, we'll see how that goes. No, Japan will be cool. Yeah, Japan, the UK, like Europe as well is a cool one. Like just anywhere in Europe, like England, Scotland, Germany, like that kind of stuff. Just want to wrestle everywhere. But like within Australia for the time being. So
you know what? Like the last few guys I had on, like, you know, Kingsley, Sam, and Jackson, you know, they were all saying there's something going on in Australian wrestling here, and it's like there's something big about to happen. They weren't able to. They didn't say what it was, but they said it was more of a feeling that they're getting. And I definitely. And you definitely see that from a fan's perspective, from everything that I'm seeing on social media, the shows and stuff like that. I can definitely feel that there's something big going to happen here in Australian wrestling. I don't know what it is, but I really would like to see all these guys get a lot more exposure on television, you know, and if that's something possible.
Sure. No, I agree. Like that's, I guess, when a lot of us, when we all started, like the goal is to go overseas and stuff and living there, but like, your goals change as you evolve and as stuff happens. And now I can agree with them. Like, I'd love to help build this scene and to make Australia the place to be and the place everyone wants to come to and the place that we'd be able to make money and make a living in Australia. And that would be something that's, a goal for the future. But we'll have to wait and see. But
I mean, I think a lot of people and around the world really that get into wrestling, like their main goal would be WWE, because WWE has been the standard bearer of pro wrestling for the last 30, 40 years. But wrestling's evolved. Wrestling has now changed. There's more options out there for guys. You know, you look at the UK thing, for example, as well. Like 15, 20 years ago, there was a lot of top talent over in the UK, and you look at the promotions now that are really over there, that are really sort of starting to take shape, like Progress, for example. You know, you're seeing a lot of these top tier UK talents from NXT UK coming up. You know, I definitely can see something in Australia which is very similar to that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like people say this a bit like from time to time, but I've heard people say like the UK scene from like 5 or 6 years ago is very similar to the Australian scene now, and then right before they blew up. And before COVID happened, I feel like we're on the precipice. We're very close to like some big things. That's kind of put a halt on that for a little bit, I guess. And hopefully it doesn't affect our momentum as a whole nation, as a whole wrestling scene here. I don't know. I don't think it will, but we'll have to wait and see once things get back to normal, once we start running shows again. But I think we'll be fine in the long run, because I know we have just a stupid amount of talent in this country that it's going to be hard to not recognize it and to not make it a bigger deal here. Anyway, so I think I'm hoping in the future,
As I said earlier, you know, you're seeing a lot more Australian talent being noticed from overseas promotions, and you're even starting to see a lot of, like, you look at Robbie Eagles, for example, like the stuff he's been able to do over in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You know, like being a member of the Bullet Club, turning on them to join up with Chaos. You know, that was a pretty big spot for someone, you know, and to be able to be given that to Robbie, who's an amazing talent and obviously one of the coaches and trainers at PWA, it must give a lot of guys, you know, in that training facility and in Australian wrestling a lot of hope and a lot of like, whoa, you know, knowing that that's someone that they look up to in that spot.
100%, because he's basically doing what we all want to do now, which is make a living out of wrestling and not even have to, you know, move overseas and ditch Australia. He's able to still be in Australia, still help everyone around here and be on our shows, whilst make a name for himself in a big company like New Japan and make a living there. And it's, very, very inspiring. And it's what I can confidently say, like, pretty much everyone in PWA wants to get to that level, whether it be New Japan or whether it be anywhere else, to get to that level to where we are making a living there, and to have the luxury to be able to still be in Australia with your friends and family and stuff, I think is really cool, and something that, that would be ideal for a lot of us, actually.
So let's talk about your gimmick, your character. If I was to ask you to explain it in two sentences, how would you explain your character?
Annoying news reporter that likes the word goober.
and how did you come up with the goober gimmick? Like, obviously, for those of non-Australians, calling someone a goober is like calling someone, like, I don't know, a dick, an idiot,
Stupid, idiot. I don't know. It was just it's a weird thing. Like, I don't know, because it was just a word, like I said, and my mate said, and we all sort of said it was just a funny word. And then I just had an idea for a promo where I was like a news reporter, and I had like the Goober Report, where I would like label who I feel are the goobers in the Australian wrestling scene and who I think are not. And it was, kind of like a 9 News kind of style, like that kind of stuff. And I was just going to do like a one and done kind of thing. But I feel like it got a positive reaction. I didn't really have much before that anyway. So I was still trying to find myself in that regard, character-wise, because I had like the North Shore stuff, but it wasn't fully there yet. But to be able to have something on my own was really cool, because it was something, developed over time, and now leaning into more the Anchorman media style of character, which I can, play a lot with. And now I'm able to make the Goober Reports more of a regular thing, which is cool. Like, I've released a bunch more since then. It's been, I've been doing it the past year, and it seems to have really resonated with a lot of people, which is fun. And because, Goober is a fun word to chant, apparently. People,
I can imagine a whole crowd chanting goober at you.
It's ridiculous. Like, that's all people say, which is fun. Like, love that shit. So, and I never expected to be like a catchphrase guy when I started, yet here I am. bloody catchphrase just on my shirt. And but I love that. Like, it's something different as well, which I like. Like, I was trying to find stuff for a persona, for a character that fit me, but was also unique as well, because you see a lot of sort of the similar stuff, and I feel this is different, which is cool. And I'd like to evolve it and see how it goes over time. But for now,
Dude, I was just going to say the same thing. Like, it sounds like such an original character, but it also sounds like a character that can resonate to different audiences around the world as well. Like, it's not just an Australian, like, that Australians would get. It would be something that the UK would get, the Americans would get, the Europeans would get, the Japanese would get. They would get that gimmick. Obviously, the countries, if they understand English, but unless you're fluent in Japanese and German and everything like that.
Not at all.
But no, look, I definitely think it is, and it's definitely found a niche. And I think, if you are given the opportunity once, COVID finishes and you're able to go overseas, I think that the Goober gimmick would definitely get over, man. Like, I can just imagine like these American crowds or the UK crowds going, "What the fuck is that?" And chatting, that's something that, to have an original gimmick in a world and in a profession like pro wrestling, which everything has been recycled multiple times again. That is a main thing. But so I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say that character's a heel, because when you say annoying, obnoxious, like, it's not really babyface qualities, but
no, not at all. Like, bit of a natural heel. I'd say like 90% of my career has been heel, and I feel more comfortable with it anyway. And even with for that gimmick, it's much better as a heel anyway. Like, me insulting people and yelling the word goober in their face, it's not really an endearing kind of thing. So, like, but if people cheer it, then they cheer it, but like they react to it at this point, so it's nice. But I'm much more comfortable being a heel at this point, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a heel, I think you've just got a lot more creativity that you can do.
Yeah,
Like I think to be a baby face, anyone can smile and run out and slap hands and stuff like that.
yeah,
And but I think to really be hated, to piss people off, it takes it to another level. I think it gives you guys a creative freedom to really learn and really develop a character to ways to really work a crowd and get them invested in what you do.
yeah.
Um, you know, but in saying that, like, when you got into pro wrestling and you finally made your debut and you were starting to sort of get known, did you sit down before you started doing shows or anything like that and really have out like a list of goals or of achievements that you wanted to achieve in, say, that first 5 years of your career? Or was it just pretty much like get in there, wrestle as much as I can, create a name?
Yeah, it was a bit more go with the. I had a lot more goals within the local scene first. Like I did when I started wrestling. There were like just a list of promotions that I wanted to work for, and then I had aspirations, to travel interstate or to travel overseas, which I haven't been able to do yet, but it's something I'd like to do in the future. But nothing like I don't really like setting a timeline goals. Like if it's like if I'm not doing this in 3 years, then I've failed, kind of thing. Like I sort of just go with the flow and see where it takes me. So, I'm liking everything so far these first 5 years because I've been able to progress. I've been able to do a lot of cool things and meet a lot of cool people and stuff. So yeah, but as far as goals within wrestling, nothing concrete, I guess. Just go with the flow.
And you know what? That's the thing. Like a lot of people that do have goals, and whether it's in wrestling or in life or anything like that, they're constantly looking at it. And if they don't achieve those goals, it's almost like, oh fuck, okay, you know what I mean? Like by obviously doing what you're saying, going with the flow and doing stuff like that, because your goals will always change. Like I can imagine in most people getting into pro wrestling, it's like I want to get in, I want to be the champion, I want to go to WWE, I want to earn $1 million. You know what I mean? Like great. That's, you know what I mean? But I think if you can evolve and you can go with the flow and you can adapt to different situations, it's going to be more beneficial long term for someone's career than just sort of going like, well, I'm 3 years in, I'm not at WWE yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and
Like,
as I said before, sorry, go.
no, I think it's goal. Like you said, goals change. So it's like, I don't remember specifically, but when I first started, I was probably thinking like, oh, I'd love to be in WWE one day. I'd love to do this and stuff, and that would be cool. But it's like it's not like the be all end all or anything. It would be nice, but I think the main goal for me is to make a living in wrestling, and that's sort of the end goal. Whether it's WWE, whether it's in the UK, whether it's in the US, whether it's in Australia, like I'm not too fussed about that at the moment. But if I can make a living doing this and not have to do anything else, then that would be great for me. So yeah.
And and that's definitely an achievable goal, and especially pre-COVID, it was definitely happening with a lot of guys, and the independent scene was a place where a lot of guys were able to sort of make a living and build a name for themselves up there. And as you mentioned, Australia is on its way there. Where the Australian wrestling scene was at pre-COVID, and even now with you guys doing a not an empty arena show, but a show at the academy with limited people. That's just another way to really sort of solidify, and keep that product out there and keep it fresh in people's minds that you guys aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
But what would you say has been like one of your favorite matches that you've had since you've started in your career?
I have a couple. Yeah. There was one I had with the Eagles at the Hoos about almost a year ago now. Just to be able to get in the ring with one of my trainers and someone who's arguably like the best in the country was really eye opening. It was just one of the matches where I thought I learnt a lot afterwards and sort of took me to a different level as a performer and as a wrestler. And because it was also sprung on me a bit last minute because he was coming back from a New Japan tour as well that week. Got put on the hoose, and it was one of those Uber Open challenges that he decided to answer. So it was, very last minute. That's like, oh, you're wrestling Robbie Eagles. I'm like, oh, cool, fuck. And then, I had a lot of fun with that. It was a big learning experience for me, which is cool. And another one that I really enjoyed was with Jackson Kelly, actually, my partner. So we had a match last December. That was through the whole North Shore Wrestling stuff and Yuri Pro. Like, it was me, him, Sam Osborne, a bit of a triangle there. Had a bit of issues, and then I turned on Jackson Kelly, which led to a match in December. But just the story involved there, I think, was really, really cool. And I've been with Kelly like most of my career as a partner and as a stablemate. So, and to be able to get in the ring with him was very interesting because I think he's very, very good. I think he's excellent. And just, the physicality of the match, the emotion of the match was really good and something that I hadn't had at that point yet. And we made up, and the next month formed North Shore Wrestling, so we're all good now. But at the moment, that was a really good match, those two. So Robbie and Jackson Kelly hold those matches in high regard.
Man, those are great. Both of those guys are amazing talents. Jackson and Robbie, and obviously yourself is definitely up there as well. As far as injuries go, man, have you had anything serious happen to you since you've started your journey in pro wrestling?
Injuries, nothing serious. So, not really. Like, I've been quite lucky. I had a concussion last year, but it wasn't anything super serious, just a dumb knock to the head, falling over in the ring, that kind of stuff. But it didn't really keep me out for an extended period of time. It was fine. Earlier this year, there was some shoulder issues, but they're all fine now. But other than that, like, knock on wood, I've been fairly lucky with everything and how it's gone with my body, like physically. I haven't had to miss any shows for an extended period of time, so that's really good because I know a lot of guys aren't as fortunate. But we'll wait and see. Like, I've been doing it 5 years now. Like, the body's definitely feeling it, but there's no injuries per se that's gonna keep me out of action for a bit. But wait and see.
Oh man, well, I definitely hope you can stay injury free, man, because some of the matches I've seen of you in, man, they're absolutely incredible, man. You being out for an extended period of time would be an absolute robbery to Australian wrestling fans. But
I agree with that. I agree.
Shit, man, tell us how you really feel, bro. I'll just over to you, bro. I'll just shut the fuck up. I'll take myself out.
I agree. It'd be a massive robbery.
No. Mate, all the goobers won't know what the fuck's going on, bro.
I know, they'll be running free without me to
direct them to the goobers safe zone, But obviously, with PWA and IWA, how much do they give you, like, freedom wise for character development, promos, that type of stuff? Do they pretty much give you like a few points, say, look, this is what we want you to hit, this is how we want your character to be, or is it pretty much like going, Will, you do that, here's the mic, go out and do it?
As far as like your individual gimmick and overall character, that's pretty much up to you, like, to create it. We have promo classes at PWA like once a month, and that's where a lot of guys come up with their characters through the help of their coaches, through the help of the like Mick Moretti and all that sort of stuff. They can help guide people into the right direction character-wise, but it's pretty much up to you if you have an idea for a character and just sort of build it there. As far as promos and that go, that's pretty much up to us. Like, we have a lot of freedom there. If there's certain storylines or story points that they want to hit, like, they'll let us know, but overall there's it's a lot of freedom in that regard. Even like just pre-done promos, like the Goober reports, like, they're pretty much they're my idea as well. Like, no one's told me to do that. So I've had a lot of creative freedom in that regard and be able to do what I want to do there. And any that I have for any of the promos that are released, they're pretty much mine. I've collaborated with some people, but overall, like we able to get a lot of freedom with our characters and our promos, which is really cool.
No, that's incredible. One of the things I wanted to ask you as well, obviously, your fatal four-way match was also involved, Kingsley, a female pro wrestler. Intergender wrestling, is that something that, is something that you are a fan of yourself, or is it something that you're not a fan of? As wrestling fans, people like different types of things. It's like a pro wrestling buffet. Some people like, intergender matches. Some people like death matches, high flying, mat wrestling. Where do you sit on the intergender thing? Are you a fan of it yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I have no issues there. Like it is what it is. Like especially with Madison Eagles as one of our trainers, like she's a bad bitch. Like she can fuck anyone up. Like so, there's no believability in that regard. So like, and with wrestling, like it doesn't matter. Like as far as like if you're in there with a girl or a guy, like I couldn't give a shit. Like I'll wrestle a girl, I'll wrestle a guy, whatever. Like I have no issues with that. And I've wrestled like Kingsley just this recently, and that was a lot of fun. She's really cool. She's really good. She'll be happy I put her over there. Jess as well. Like Jess Troy is probably one of the best in the country as well, and it doesn't matter like that she's a girl. Like she's fucking good. I don't think I don't have any issues with any of that stuff. I know that that's a bit of a hot topic at the moment, and people have different opinions. That's
Look, Ben, to be honest, my opinion on intergender wrestling is this, and it's the same way when you see a guy who's 6'6" and 140 kilos going up against a guy who's 5'4" and 60 kilos soaking wet. If you could make it believable, great, but at the end of the day, it's pro wrestling. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a legit MMA fight. Like it's pro wrestling if it can be made to look believable. And one of the things I really like about PWA, because I've really been going back and watching some of the past PWA shows on independent wrestling TV, is when they do the intergender matches, they're so damn good. Like they're not like you don't even know it's like obviously a man and a woman are wrestling, but it's not like made to be that. Oh my God, this is shocking to see. It's a believable match. It looks like a believable contest. And as a wrestling fan, you want to be able to shut off from the world and be able to buy into what you're watching. And I think PWA does the intergender stuff really well.
Yeah.
And obviously, you got guys like, ladies like Steph DeLando, Kingsley, who also step in there and make it look as just as believable that they can stand toe to toe with the guys,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, as long as, believable, that sort of stuff. But like, as long as it's entertaining as well, like if the crowd are into it, I don't think anything matters. Like you can put whoever you want out there. You can put 2 small guys, 2 big guys, 2 girls, a guy and a girl. Like if they're making noise, if they're into it, then that's really all that matters, in my opinion. Like it's because that's what we're there for. They're there to entertain the audience, and if entertained by a girl and a guy, and then that's it. Like, and if you're a wrestler, you should be able to make the stuff work with if it's a girl, if it's a guy, if it's any shape or size or whatever. Like, it doesn't really matter. But
but that's the thing. I mean, you look at generations past of wrestlers. When females were going to wrestle men, I'm not going to get in there and wrestle her. Like, what I mean, they're worried about how they're going to look. But if you can get in there and have a solid match with anyone, is that really going to make you look bad? Like, let's be honest at the end of it.
Yeah.
And as I said, if you can make it believable and the crowd are invested, you've done your job.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I agree. And like other guys might have problems with that, and that's fine. Like I'm not gonna knock them for that. That's just their opinion, that's their mentality and stuff. But this is my opinion. Like I don't have any issues with that. But
no,
I think,
mate, and
I think it's good either way. Like it's I don't know. I don't have a problem with that regardless. So.
No, man, like, and neither do I. Like I said, it's I love all pro wrestling. I don't give a shit who's in there as long as they're good at what they do. You've got my money. I'll buy that ticket. So. But we're getting to that 1 hour mark, guys, and I just want to take this moment. Will, if anyone out there wants to follow you on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, can you please give your social media a quick plug for us?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Will Keidis 3000. On Twitter, it's the same at Will Keidis 3000. And then I've also got a wrestler merch store for all my merch and t-shirts and stuff. Just go on the site. You can find Will Keidis there. That's how it's all the socials that I have. Really, Facebook doesn't really matter at this point. Like, go to my Facebook page, but I've got that too if you'd like. So.
Yeah, guys, look, we'll share all of Will's social media information and his merch store where you guys can go and see that over in our Facebook group, Multi-Continental Wrestling Alliance. But, wrapping things up, Will, what's the plan for the future? You say, going with the flow and sort of going with it. But, where would you like to see yourself in the next 12 months? Is there any big matches that you'd really like to have, locally here in Sydney or in Australia-wide in the next 12 months?
So I'm gonna focus more locally on the next 12 months, I guess, unless borders open up. I don't know, but I'd like to focus on growing PWA, helping grow IWA and UWE Pro, because they're my top 3 promotions that I wrestle for at the moment. Just growing that and growing the companies there and making that as big as it can be. As far as like anyone I'd like to wrestle, from Australia, Davis Storm is someone that I look up to. Like, I've sought advice from him as well. He's very knowledgeable. I'm a big fan of his work and all that he does there. So that would be interesting to be able to get in the ring with him. And guys in Sydney, like, I've been able to share the ring with most of the people in PWA that I've wanted to. Like, to be able to get in there again would be really cool. Mick Moretti as well. I've never had a one-on-one match with him, and I think he's fucking sick. So like that would be interesting to get into the ring with him. And Jess Troy as well, one-on-one. Like, I don't believe I think we've had one singles match on an IWA show a while ago, but I like to get in there with her again because she's really good as well. But there's a lot of people I want to get the chance to wrestle with, but we'll see.
Oh, mate, I definitely think that's going to be there. But let me ask you this: I'm gonna hand you the magic book right now. Okay, so the magic book, you can book yourself against any opponent, past, present, whatever it might be, from any promotion in the world at any time frame in the world. Who would you pick?
Probably Jericho. That's for Jericho. That's my dream match there. Just at any time, that'd be it, because he's just someone I've looked up to in wrestling for like pretty much since I started watching. He's someone that's a bit of an influence on me, and he's still going like strong to this day, which is very impressive. He's been going like 30 years now, and I think the fact that he's able to evolve, whether it's his gimmick or his character, his style of wrestling, I think is really cool, and it's something that I strive to do as well as I progress and as I move on in wrestling. So that would be a bit of a dream match there.
Dude, Jericho is like the Dave Grohl of pro wrestling. Yeah. He's just been fucking cool for 30 years, and no one can dispute that. So. But, look, guys, we have been going for an hour, and I do want to be conscious of Will's time. He has given us a bit of time here for this evening. But, guys, as I wrap it up, I just want to take this time. Will, thank you so much for coming on the show. I will get you to hold back while we wrap up. Guys, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for watching Shooting the Shit Uncensored. As you know, we are available on Facebook and also on YouTube. So make sure you join the Facebook group, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and really get in and check out some of our past content. Guys, also head over to our Pro Wrestling Tee store, prowrestlingtees.com/MWA World, and pick up some of our shirts if you would like to support this show and support Multi-Continental Wrestling Alliance. Head over there, buy a shirt, and you can go in the draw to win a $50 Amazon gift card plus a bonus free shirt as well. So, that's a $70 prize for a $20 cost. So, guys, head over there, pick up a shirt. Support us. You can also find us on Instagram and on Twitter at MWA World. But guys, until next time, Will, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. We'll catch you next time, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.
No problem, man. Thank you again.